Hi, it's Rachel again, and I'm back for another video. Don't even know what number this is. So, I'm getting started later than I normally do. So I feel like I'm in a rush. I have to run some errands today, and this morning I had people in the house longer than I normally do. So I spent the morning kind of organizing some of my stitching stuff and stuff for the video and some work stuff. And so I'm kind of, I don't know, running late. Oh my gosh, my eye. Yeah, so I'm going to run some errands and then hopefully get some dyeing in tonight and get prepped for my weekend of work. So, what am I going to talk about? I don't know. I am going to really quickly do a shop update. The other day I got on Instagram and did a story kind of doing a quick little update, and I said I'd elaborate here. I have not been posting on Instagram as much. I just kind of have been very focused on dyeing and shop orders and customer orders, and just so laser focused on that I keep postponing updating my website, updating on Instagram, responding to emails. I always am like, I've been starting work really early. I've been getting up about 4 a.m. Now that's a regular thing with me. And so I kind of just start working and think, oh, I'll do that at the end of the day. And then I've been just so tired. I've been really procrastinating. And so that stuff has kind of, I haven't been keeping up with it as good as I should. So I will update you on the shop now, and then I'll give you a little personal update, and then we'll get down to showing some stitching stuff. Last time I did a video, I had talked to the distributor, so that was 2 weeks ago, and they said, anytime we are getting an order from Zweigart, and I don't know if they've gotten any, but I have not gotten my orders yet. So I am still waiting on 40 count, but they haven't gotten, as far as I know. I didn't check this morning. I did check last night with one of the distributors. They have not updated that they have any. The other two I use 3 distributors, which I've said before. 2 of them I have orders waiting. So as soon as it comes in, they're just shipping it. One of those distributors charged me for all of the linen I ordered. So I ordered just 40 count, 60 yards from each of the distributors that will hold on to an order, and when the stuff comes in, they just fill it and send it out. Yarn Tree is another distributor I love using. They have phenomenal customer service. When you order with them, if they don't have something in stock, and their website usually shows what they have in stock, they keep it very, very updated. If they don't have something, they don't really put it on back order, and they don't hold an order for you. You just have to go in and reorder. So that's a website that I check every day. And they do update every day with all of their new charts and linens and anything that they get in. It is updated pretty regularly, and they have not had any. They sell, so they sell quite a few different types of linens, and they're actually a website that as a customer you can go on and order directly from them. A lot of shops use them as a distributor as well. Linen, they sell like Zweigart and Fabric Flare. They have a lot of linen, and they sell it in 1-yard cuts. So if you're a customer and you want a big chunk, that's a good place to look. It's also kind of a good place, you know, you can see the same thing I'm seeing. So like if you go in there and look at the Zweigart 40 count, you will see it is all temporarily out of stock. Now they also sell the Zweigart like colored linens, and they do tend to have that. So if you're kind of looking to stock up on linen, that's a place where you can go, and they will sell you a 1-yard cut. For dyers that use them, you can get 1-yard cuts, you can get bolts. They also sell the, what do you call it? What do they call it? The unstarched bolts of linen, and they're out of those too. Those are 50 meter bolts of unstarched base linen that mostly dyers use. I don't think any stitchers would buy those. It's just too much linen, and you know, some stitchers like the starch in their linen. They like the stiff linen, and some don't. So anyway, that's a place where you can go. Just as a side note, they don't carry all designers and stuff, but they carry Q-snaps and finishing products and all kinds of great stuff. And they have phenomenal customer service. They ship incredibly quickly. I can place an order with them, and sometimes, depending on what time of day I do it, they can ship it the same day. So that is a distributor that I watch every day. I go on their website and see what they have, and I order from them probably a couple times a week. So they're a good one. But they, you know, okay, I'm rambling. Basically what I'm saying is they don't keep an order for me waiting for a shipment. That's one I have to physically go in and check, and they don't have any yet either. So I'm going to take the distributors at their word, and they are waiting on, you know, this is all, the issue is not any of these distributors. The issue is waiting on the factory in Germany. So the minute I get more linen, I've gotten small little batches of little tiny, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards here and there. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I'm waiting on that. I am working on now. Okay, so I was gone 2 weekends ago, or yeah, I guess 2 weekends ago, right? I don't know. So I was gone for a few days, and then when I came back, I had some shop orders that were on deadlines that I had to get out. And this week I have been mostly working on customer orders and a couple of smaller shop orders, but I haven't even finished those yet. So here's what the plan is. I am not working on my May orders yet. That probably won't start for another week or so, the May orders. So if you have an order placed prior to May, they are in the pile and they are getting worked on. I'm working on all counts, all colors, but there is a ton of them. So if you're not waiting on 40 count, which I went through my orders yesterday, and there is like a stack that have just 40 count, and a lot of people order mixes. You know, they might order some 28 and some 40, or 40 and 36. If you have any 40 on your count, you're kind of in the holding pattern. But I still have orders waiting on 32, 28, 36. But I was really busting through a lot this week. I was able to just focus on those since I got so many shop orders done the week before. So yeah, so here is what's going to happen. I am so far behind right now, and I am working long hours, 7 days a week. And so I really need some help to get ahead. I have had people ask, why don't you hire somebody? Part of the issue is I work in my house. I don't want anybody coming in and working here. It's kind of an invasion of everybody else's privacy that lives here. But I am comfortable with my family helping my kids. My kids get out of school next week. And rather than get a job in town, which a lot of the kids here do in the summer, they are actually going to be working for me. My son will not be touching linen, but I am going to pay him to help me with some of the things around the house that I just can't get done because that's basically all I'm doing is the linen. And so yard work's not getting done, housework's not getting done, just a lot of stuff. Now, I do think he's capable of possibly labeling linen, so I may teach him to do that. But as far as cutting, ironing, that kind of stuff, he's not going to be doing that. So I'm going to be paying him to do that. And my daughter Natalia will be done with school in a week, and she is going to work the ironing for me. So, and we're going to have a schedule. So, you know, last time she has helped me quite a bit and she's pretty good at it, but you know, she's still in school. And so she can't spend a ton of time doing it, and then she needs downtime too. So I will have a little help from them. And then I also called my brother-in-law, who, if you remember, he was here just before Christmas and helped me out for a bit. He's trained. He was just kind of getting going with figuring out the cutting and the ironing, and kind of, at first it was a little, he was learning, and he really got into a rhythm of it. And right before he left, man, we had some super productive days with me just dyeing, and him ironing and cutting, and then I'd come and package. I mean, we were killing it. We were doing more than double time, right? So I called him and offered to fly him out here, which he is coming next Saturday. And we bought a one-way ticket, and he is going to help me. He said he's willing to work 10-hour days. I don't know if I'll make him work. I work that long. But with the time difference, he doesn't really get going till like 10 a.m., which is like 7 a.m. his time. But he gets up and has his coffee or whatever. And I'm working by 5. So I've already put in a long day. He's more of a night owl. I'm ready to quit. But we can get some we did some really productive days last time and got out a ton of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that today is Friday. I am going to be dyeing all weekend. Next week, really focusing on customer orders. I have to get a couple of small shop orders out where the shop owners have been waiting. But those can be mixed in with my customer orders. So next week I will be kind of trudging through. There's a couple days I'm going to have to take to kind of get everything prepped for him coming. My plan is to spend a few days at the end of next week not sending anything out and doing some massive long hours of dyeing, so that when he gets here, there is a pile waiting for him to iron. And then I will continue to dye, and as he gets them done, package and get them out. So in about 2 weeks, I'm thinking you are going to see these. Well, I know you are going to see these orders just flying out of here. And the goal is that he can help me really cut down on the number of customer orders. I don't know, but I'm really hoping we can do all of my shop orders that are waiting. Those are very quick to iron. That's just a matter of, getting the dyeing done. It's a lot quicker to iron those. You can burn through those really quick because you're not cutting them. So he's going to stay a week. Well, he's going to stay longer than a week. Like I said, it's open-ended ticket, but we're going to work for a week, evaluate what we could get done, and see. He's willing to stay. He said he'd stay for a month or 2. Now, to me, I need a little bit more of my own space. But I think at the end of, so this coming week, I'm working alone, but he will be here the following week. And we're just going to try and really attack what I have on my list. So I think I know you're really going to see an uptick in what is going out, and a lot of you that have been waiting. I also really need to get caught up on what I've been working on, because at some point this 40 count's coming in, and I have a feeling it's very soon, and that number of orders is large. And it very well could come in while he's here, which would be a huge help. If he is still processing while I am cutting my bolts of linen and prepping them to dye and get out. So I think that's really good news. I am thinking I will probably have him here for probably about 3 weeks is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we can get enough done. And I'm hoping that we can get enough done that maybe we can take a day or 2 and do some sightseeing and some road tripping and just kind of enjoy the summer. The weather's been really good, and I've been stuck inside, and that's not fun. That's not fun. So that's my update. I think you're going to see, right now I'm very behind. The wait is very long. I say it all the time. I'm going to say it again. If you don't want to wait for linen, or if you're ordering linen from Needle and Flax for a specific project that you want to start quickly, don't order from me, order from a shop. That's all I gotta say. And there's a list of shops on my website that carry the linen. One of the shops, which I'll just say it here, Let's see. The attic just got they're getting a shipment today, a large shipment. They do have their Bristol weekend, so I'm assuming they're probably going to sell a lot of it. They have a lot of linen of all different dyers, so they're always a good source to call and place a mail order. I know Jean had said on her last Flosstube, they're short-staffed, they're very busy. Um, you can go online and print out their order form, and you can call them and do all the things to place an order. But it might take a little bit, which is fine. Again, same with me and them, and you'll get what you want when it's available and when they can get it out. So that's one place that will have linen, but like I said, they have a couple of events coming up, and a lot of in-store customers that'll be there. So I don't know what they will have left after that. But if you're looking for something specific, of course, they can always help you out. Peakside Needleworks in the UK, I shipped at the beginning of this week. That is winging its way across the pond, as they say. So that is the first shop in the UK that has, she ordered a while ago, but I just got it finished and got that out to her. So if you are not in the United States and you are out her way, that is somewhere I'm sure, I know you can get some linen. She got a nice big box. Now, I don't know how long it'll take for it to get there and how long it'll take for her to get sorted or what her system is as far as online or in shop, but it's on its way. All the other shops that I have sent to have already placed, they've already run out. So all of the shops that I sent to last week and the week before, I have already got more orders for them because their linen was gone within a couple days. So there's more coming up, and that's basically it. I don't know. I kind of feel like a broken record. I'm always saying the same thing. It's hard to get. It's hard to get the base fabric. I'm moving slow. You have a very long wait if you wait for me, but you are guaranteed to get what you want. And it just may not right now be in a super timely manner. So that's that. God, I need coffee like 24/7. So last time we talked, I was taking my daughter to Paul McCartney concert in North Carolina, which we did. I kind of we lucked out in a way. My husband offered to sort of drive us and be our special Uber driver. And so he and my son actually went, and they drove us down, which was great. He loves to drive, and I like to ride. And they were just like, hey, we'll drop you off at the front door of the concert, and we'll bum around. And during the concert, they actually went to Dave & Buster's and had dinner and played games and stuff. So they actually had a really great time. And my husband and I think I told you we did a big road trip when we were younger, and it's just kind of continued, and we're kind of road trippy kind of people, and our kids they do enjoy it. So we like to drive a lot of places, even with gas being what it is. Ay, ay, ay. Now I'm looking at different like road trips I want to take this summer and in the fall and stuff, kind of somewhat local stuff, but even figuring out with the price of gas, now you actually have to figure out what is that going to cost me as opposed to getting a plane ticket, or like I'm looking at going to Country Sampler, and I was thinking that might even be something we could do when my brother-in-law's here. And there's a couple different ferries that you can take across Lake Michigan to Wisconsin, and they're car ferries. So we could take the car, and I thought, well, that might be fun to do that one way rather than driving around the lake through Chicago and up. Drive and go across the lake just for a fun thing to do. And it doesn't shave off a ton of time. It shaves off a little time, but like doing all of the math with like, okay, what's the gas going to cost? What's the time? If it takes longer, are we getting more meals on the road? It's like a whole different ballgame with this, with these gas prices. And so figuring all that stuff out is kind of fun. It's costing a lot more to take these little local trips. Anyway, that being said, so we went to, so 4 of us went, and my oldest daughter stayed home and took care of the animals in the house, and she was working and stuff. We decided, or I decided to stop the first night in Canton, Ohio, and I went to the First Ladies Museum, and we did that, and we did the First Ladies Museum. Okay, what am I going to say about it? Definitely, this was research for my First Ladies series. The First Ladies Museum, I don't know if I would go out of the way to go see it. It's kind of rinky-dink. There's not a lot to see. They actually had a, I'm assuming it changes all the time, but right now it's a Nancy Reagan display. They have a lot of short little, like, dolls, like, I don't know, like figures with like reproductions of some of their dresses, but they're small. They're like waist high in glass cases. So they're not even like you're seeing real First Ladies dresses. I think they had Nancy's real dresses. But it's very tiny. There's not a lot to look at. If you're in the area, it's worth a stop. It's free to go look through the museum. They are down the street from Ida McKinley's family home. And that tour, I think, was $7, maybe. Natalia and I went through it. The boys didn't. They went to McDonald's. So we went through Ida McKinley's house. That was worth the money. That was really interesting. And since it's just down the street, if you're in the area, it's worth a stop. So that was very cool. Learned a little bit about her. Pretty much everything I learned, I already knew. She was not a needle worker as far as like samplers, and, you know, her time period was a little post-samplery. But she was a big crocheter. And if you watch any of the documentaries on First Ladies or read any of the books, it is mentioned quite often. And she was somewhat of an invalid. They're not really sure what was wrong with her. Possibly epilepsy, but even then there's a question whether that's actually what she had. She started having health problems after the birth of her children. And then both of her children passed away. One was in infancy, and I think one was 4 or 5 years old. And she never had children again after that. And so there were physical issues. There could have been some mental issues and depression. I don't know. Who knows, you know? So she crocheted. And she crocheted a ton of slippers. And I did ask the park ranger that did the tour. They have a pair of the slippers, which are gorgeous. They're not what I had in my mind. I think in my mind, I had been thinking like the little 70s slip-ons with the pom-pom on top that like everybody's grandma made them. Little crochet slippers. They look like little ballet slippers with like ribbon on them. They're gorgeous. They look like point shoes. And they had some of those there. I took a photo and I had put it in my personal Instagram stories. And I asked the park ranger about them, and she had said the woman made tens of thousands of these slippers. They have a lot that they own, but they said if you go to presidential museums and historical sites around the country, she sent many of them as gifts to other living first ladies, and people who eventually became first ladies. So they said those slippers are on display. Different pair are on display at many of those sites around the country, which I thought was interesting. They're beautiful. I'll have to post the still picture somewhere else. I'll have to look. But if you go on my personal Instagram, which is I Also Stitch, it might be saved in the highlights. So we did that. And then we ran over to the William McKinley Presidential Library. There's a monument next to the library. And Ida had something to do with setting up this monument to William McKinley. There was tons of people there. It's up like a bazillion stairs, and there's tons of people there working out, like Rocky, running up and down the stairs of this monument. Lots of people working out there. Go into the museum. I'm the only one that went in. Nobody else wanted to go see anything. I was the only person in the building. It was quite sad. It's kind of in a neighborhood that's not real great. kind of run down. And nobody goes to this museum, which kind of surprised me in a way. I mean, President McKinley was assassinated in office. You know, you would think he'd have some street cred. The other guys do have a little street cred. And William McKinley, not so much. So I went through there, I went to the gift shop, I got a t-shirt, and I got a book about him because I do know a little bit about him, but I'd like to read a little bit more. While I was in the gift shop, my daughter called, and there was a tornado in northern Michigan, and the tornado hit in Gaylord, which is like 40 miles north of me. Gaylord is somewhere where we used to shop there a lot because they had the only Starbucks, the only Hobby Lobby. You know, they have all of the big box stores that are also in Traverse City, and my husband also had an office in Gaylord, so we used to go up there a lot. Now they have the only Five Guys hamburger joint, and we all like that, and so a lot of times we go up there for that and just do shopping because they have all of our grocery stores, and they have Walmarts and Lowe's. You know, they have all the things that you need to do up there, and it's not much farther than for me to go to Traverse City. So it's a place that we go to pretty regularly. Not so much in the winter, but when the weather's nice. So I had kept getting these notifications on my phone, tornado warning, blah, 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 blah. I knew it was going to be stormy, and I'm in the William McKinley gift shop, and my daughter calls me, and she's like, oh my God, it is so bad. She said the dogs were freaking out. They were hiding. And I kept hearing this like in the background, and I'm like, is that thunder? She goes, that is not thunder. That is trees falling in the woods. I could hear it through the phone, and I'm like, is it raining? Nope, not raining. That was the wind coming through. She's like, what do I do? She was supposed to go to work, and I guess what she was really concerned is getting in the car and driving, as well as these dogs. She said the animals were just like flipping out. She said it was the loudest, worst storm she's been in. Now, it was very quick. I think that tornado had 140 mile an hour winds. The tornado did not hit near us, but that same storm passed over. And so I'm sure the winds were probably pretty good. I was like, I'm in the William McKinley gift shop. I'm going to have to call you in a few minutes. So I checked out. I called her when I got out of the building, and she's like, well, now it's pouring. She's like, you need to clean your rain gutters, which we had just done. I'm like, we just cleaned them. She goes, well, it's raining hard enough. It's like a sheet of water coming down. So anyway, she was a little nervous. I told her to wait out the storm. She was supposed to be at work. And I said, you call them and tell them you are waiting till it's safe to drive. I got good tires, you know. I said, what if a tree falls on you? Why? Just wait a few minutes. You know, you can get in when you get in. So she did, and everything turned out fine. But it really did kind of scare her quite a bit. She said it was dark as night, and the wind was going. We don't get tornadoes in northern Michigan at all. I mean, it's a very rare occurrence. You know, Tornado Alley is way south of us. So, yeah, so that was of course, I leave, and there's a tornado. And, you know, the yard was a mess, and the trees that fell down were off in our woods, so it was nothing that I had to make an insurance claim on or clean up or anything, because it was in areas that we don't really use, so that was all good. And yeah, so that was kind of interesting. And then we went on to North Carolina, and first time I've ever driven through West Virginia. Been to most states. West Virginia is not one that I had been to. We stopped quite a few times there. Let's see. Very pretty state. Using the Google, I found out that John Denver has never lived there and has nothing to do with West Virginia. And Country Roads Take Me Home is on every toll booth, every building. It's all over the place. Even the guy that wrote the song had nothing to do with West Virginia. I found that kind of interesting. That's one of my son's favorite songs. So we were playing that quite a bit. Drove through there, got to North Carolina, did had dinner and did the concert. I did stop. I'll show you. I stopped. We had like a little bit of time to kill. And so my daughter wanted to go to the Goodwill stores around there. So we hit two Goodwill. We had dinner, hit two Goodwill stores. And she likes looking for old records and clothes and stuff. I'm kind of always looking at housewares. So I did find, I collect ironstone. And this cabinet above me is my brown transferware. I have a problem with dishes. I have a lot of dish sets and I love them. I've had it, this cabinet, you can't really see it, and I'm not going to move the camera because I'm sure it'll tip. It's 2 levels. So this is all brown ironstone. And I've had this in here for about a year. Typically, I will switch out my dishes and things that are in there for the seasons. But I love the brown irons, the brown transferware. So that's what's in this cabinet now. But I do have a collection of white ironstone, antique white ironstone. And so I found for $4.99 this, this is J&G Macon, a platter, an ironstone platter. So I was pretty excited about that for $5. You can't beat it. Our thrift stores and stuff up here are actually pretty pricey for thrift stores and Goodwill type stuff. So typically when I find good deals on ironstone, it's at garage sales or auctions and things, but not often in our thrift shops. You know, they started, set this down, they started pricing that stuff like almost like antique shops, like full price, you know. They're kind of, thrift stores and things are not the same as they used to be. And then this one I got, I have a thing for platters too. I can't even read the stamp. It is an antique. But this one has kind of an emboss, and it's a big ironstone platter. I have a stack. I mean, I have stacks of platters. I have blue transferware, brown transferware, ironstone. Ironstone is very heavy. And right now I don't have my ironstone displayed anywhere. In this cabinet, I have a few pieces. I have a lot of ironstone pictures and things, and some of them are mixed in with my brown transferware. But I collect a lot of stuff, and you know, dishes are a thing. Fiestaware, we eat off Fiestaware, and this is new Fiestaware, but I have a big antique Fiestaware collection. Franciscan dinnerware, Desert Rose. I have my grandma's set and then have acquired a lot more since then. That's probably my biggest set of dishes that we actually will eat off of. I just have a lot. I have a thing for dishes. When I like something like cross-stitch charts, I go all in whole hog and just get a lot of it. And that's something I need to try and do before next winter, is purge some of my things. Because working in the house, I just can't have, mentally, I can't have the clutter that has accumulated recently. So I'm going to have to part with some of my collections, I think. Not the ironstone, not the transferware. You know, everything I just mentioned, I'm not parting with. But there's other things that I have that I really just, I don't know. I don't display anymore. I need the room. And probably my next barn sale, I will be pitching a lot of things. Probably a lot of my more mid-century type stuff. Anyway, yeah, so I got those. That was great. We did the concert. It was we were dropped off. It was 93, 94 degrees and humid, and then a rainstorm came in. And so when we were dropped off, it was pouring rain. And they would not let us into the concert because they weren't sure if they would cancel it or not. So she wanted to get there at 6 when the gates opened. The concert was supposed to start at 8. They didn't let us in until 7:30, so we stood outside in the rain. Can't take umbrellas in. We didn't have an umbrella anyway because I knew that would be the case, but we stood outside in the pouring rain. We were soaked. She really wanted to get all of her Paul McCartney merchandise, so she got a bunch of shirts and the booklet, and I'm actually wearing one of the shirts I got, and on the back it has Paul drinking coffee. Could be tea, but I'm assuming I'm going to call it coffee. Him, you know, drinking some coffee. So I thought that was perfect for me. Concert was great. Let's see, he's 79 and played till almost midnight. He started a little late. It was way after 8 o'clock before he started. It was very slow getting out of there. The crowd was about half young people, and half people that were probably the screaming teenagers that are now, you know, a little long in the tooth. A little slow moving, a lot of canes, a lot of wheelchairs. It kind of cracked me up because you could see these like, and a lot of them were couples. A lot of them had their husbands or their adult children with them. And it was kind of cute because you could see a lot of older women and you could almost see that teenager in them. They were very excited, but they were slow moving, right? And this was like tall bleachers, stairs with no hand railing. I thought for sure one of these people was going to fall down the stairs. Thank God I didn't see that happen. It was a very long time. The lines to the bathroom were very long. It was kind of a mess. Apparently the parking and getting into the stadium and the way the city handled it was not good. It had made the news. That didn't affect us because we had a driver that dropped us off and then also stopped in the Uber parking lot to pick us up. So for us, it was easy to get in and out. The traffic was kind of a mess, but we didn't have to look for parking. So apparently there were people that were circling around and trying to get in there for hours. So the concert was good. Did a lot. He did some Wing songs and some Beatles songs. His voice does crack a little bit. You know, he's almost 80. When he hits some of those pitches, it's a little wobbly. But other than that, he sounded great. It was a good show. It was a good show. He did a duet with John Lennon. John Lennon was on video with just his voice, and he sang with him, and all the good Beatles hits. And it was good. I filmed some of it while it was happening and put it on my Instagram during. I have to admit, there's a few times I was about ready to fall asleep. I was exhausted, and I think he played like 36 songs. I kept looking at my daughter because she had the playlist up on her phone. I'm like, how many songs has he done? She's like, 11. I'm like, how many are there? She's like, 36. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna. First of all, I wasn't sure if I was either going to be able to stay awake or if my bladder would hold out. Because getting up and down these stairs, you know, going to the bathroom and waiting in line, I was like, okay, I'm going to sit here, but something was going to give. It didn't, thank God. So we got home very, very late that night, and I was exhausted. And that was on a Saturday. And then Sunday, we actually drove straight through to come home. We debated stopping another night. I did not feel well. I felt so sick in the car the whole way home. I think, and then I was sick Monday, right after we got home. I think the temperature difference, there was a 40-degree temperature swing from where I lived to Canton and North Carolina. We were eating road food. I had been getting up very early in the morning and staying up late at night a few nights before to get ready to leave. So I think a lack of sleep, just everything, my allergies kicked up. I had the worst sore throat, the worst headache. My stomach was upset. I did not feel good. So I am so glad I had a driver. And then it took me I just did not feel good for a couple days. And I thought for sure I was going down like a ton of bricks. I didn't. I just felt like junk for 2 days. And I think it was I don't think I actually caught a virus. I think it might have been just all of those things mixed together. So yeah, that is very long. I've been talking for like 38 minutes and not showing you anything. So I'm going to get on with showing you stuff. So that was I wanted to go into it because a lot of people had asked. And that was it. That was what we did. And then I came home and really Tuesday started working. I did a little bit Monday, but like I said, I wasn't feeling good. And yeah, I've gotten some organizing done and some things ready, and I have a video to show you. We gotta get moving. Some people don't like my rambling. You know, I think it's good when people ramble. It's good stitching time, right? Because a lot of times you're stitching and watching, and it's easy to listen and not have to look up. Okay, so I will show you. And the other thing is, when I was gone, last time I showed you all these projects that I was sure I was going to work on. I didn't get one stitch in at all. And since before I left, I have stitched twice for very short periods of time. So in the last couple weeks, more than 2 weeks, I haven't stitched, which I am going to make sure I stitch some tonight because I'm really needing it. So I think tonight I have a goal of what to get done for the day, and I'm really going to try and stitch. So what have I gotten for stash? Not a ton, but enough. I did get Ellen Barber 1895 from Hands Across the Sea. This is their newest, the Home Sweet Home chart. So, and you guys know I will order everything Hands Across the Sea. So whenever there's a new release, you're going to see me showing it because that's just a given. I did get from Scarlet Letter. I had ordered this. I might have even gotten this before I left last time and not shown you. But Scarlet Letter, did I show you this? I don't think I showed. Anyway, if I showed it already, you're seeing it again. This is Elizabeth Lily. This is their newest reproduction, which is right up my alley and totally stunning. Look at all that. Look at all the red, and there's a little pastoral scene, and I don't think I'll start this year because I have a few Scarlet Letters going, but this one's pretty good. I could see maybe when the cold weather and winter hits, maybe doing this one. I love a really packed sampler like that. And again, Scarlet Letter is sort of a collection. I'm trying to... What is wrong with my glasses that they're always like... Anyway, I'm trying to, get a nice curated collection of Scarlet Letter because they are one of my very tip-top designers. And my tip-top favorites are ones that I want to make sure I have everything that I would possibly consider stitching of theirs, so that one day when I'm retired, I can go back and make sure that I stitch them all, which will never happen, but you can always dream. So the other thing that I got, which I had ordered a long time ago, Country Sampler had their spring open house, and before the open house ever happened, they had a Stacy Nash exclusive, and I had ordered it then. And I think it was maybe last week I had gotten an email from them, and they apologized for the long wait, but they had run out of charts and they were waiting on a reprint to come in. I had ordered something after that as well, and so they had sent me an email saying that they were going to send me the other pieces that I ordered, and then the Stacy Nash exclusive would come later, and I got it yesterday. So it came in this cute little baby Stacy Nash bag. Now I don't think you can't get this kit anymore, but you can get the kitted chart. But this part of it was just for that spring open house. Which, like I said, I think that was in April, and I purchased it before they even had the event. So, and then it came with a little Taylor Nash waxer, a little Easter egg, and the ribbon for the finishing. And this is the Spring Basket Pin Keep. Little chicken and I love stuff with chickens. I just got rid of my chickens in the fall because I knew I wouldn't really be able to handle it. I've had chickens for a long time, and probably in the next year I'll get some again. But I knew with the amount of linen I was doing, I wouldn't be able to keep up on a chicken coop and all that. So I love getting stuff with chickens on it. So that's cute. And it comes with, this linen is very pretty, and I'm not even sure what it is. It might be a Fox and Rabbit. Let's see. Yep, Fox and Rabbit ballet slippers. It's beautiful. It's really pretty. It is sort of it looks like ballet slippers. It looks like my daughter's point shoes. And then it's Weeks Dye Works, and then that's the backing fabric, which I think is very pretty. But this is gorgeous. It's almost a flesh tone. It's not showing up on camera, but this is very, very pretty. I might have to order a nice chunk of Fox and Rabbit ballet slippers because I like that a lot. I think it could be a good, not too pinky, it could be a good neutral. So I got that. And the other thing I had ordered, which I didn't bring it up. So I wasn't sure when I ordered this kit if it came with this little tote bag. And at Market, I saw a ton of people had the Stacy Nash tote bags. And I'm like, I have got to have one of those. Country Sampler now is selling the Stacy Nash tote bags. This one is teeny tiny. I mean, it's little teeny tiny. They have full-size ones and zipper bags that say Stacy Nash. And so I had ordered the full-size Stacy Nash tote bag and a zippered bag and a pattern. But I was kind of glad because I thought, well, what if I get 2 of those tote bags? I really don't need 2. That's just silly. But this one's tiny. It's a totally different size. So I'm glad I did order the full-size one. So that's it. That's all my haul. I don't know when I'll start that. I'm not in the mood to start that yet. I'm really anxious to see what Country Sampler's next, what this next Stacy Nash drum is, because that should be, I would assume it's summery. The last one was Christmassy. I don't know. So yeah. So stitching wise, what have I worked on? Okay, well last night, last night was one of the 2 nights I've stitched. I did pick up, I have been really in the mood for Plum Street, and I think my next video may be a Plum Street braid. I am just, Paulette is one of my favorite designers, hands down, and I just a lot of times get in the mood to stitch her stuff. And I always have Plum Street Sampler stuff going. So Nantucket Girl Sampler, right? Nantucket Girl Sampler. And I had started this a bit ago, and I'm doing this in silk. I think I said before, this is not necessarily silk worthy. I just had it. This would be very nice on DMC. I don't think that the money needs to be spent to do it in silk at all, because it's a lot of words and little motifs. So I got a few more of the words done, and then that top title at the top, but it's also very big, and there's a lot of, other than the words, there is a lot of like color changes and stuff. Like I did these little fish. I mean, you know, I have to finish this pot. I was missing one color of NPI, and then I did get that. So, yeah, I was almost thinking this would also be a good one. I might try to play some of those mind games to get stuff done, like the whole 1 red thread a day kind of thing. And I was thinking this would be a great one to do a thread a day or a motif a day, because they're all so tiny. So either if I wanted to work on words, do 1 thread of words, or to take something, you know, like the little fish, and just say, okay, I'm close to this little motif, that'll be my work today, and maybe do like 20 minutes every morning to kind of get this going. I'm not a morning stitcher, but if I kind of set a time limit or a little, you know, one of those little mind games we play with ourselves to try and get stuff done, because I'd like to see that done. But okay, so I worked on that, and then the other thing I did was, oh, I did 2 things. So I had, again, Plum Street. I'm still working on, what is this called again? I get these confused. A New Constellation. I love her Rhode Island sampler style. And I've shown this probably the last few charts. I kind of worked down a little bit. I did the church and kind of finished the flower. The people aren't finished. But I moved down here and did these little spools and started one of the little flowers. That color is a Weeks Dye Works. This flower is crimson. It's really pretty. It's a very pretty color to work with. It's a very sort of variegated burgundy. So I did a little bit more on that. I hope to finish this summer because I want to move on to the next one. And I have got to get my hands on that Live on Little chart. And I am assuming it's going to be released this summer. And I know I'm going to want to drop everything. And it's probably the one chart for a long time I've been very excited about. And I cannot wait. And I know she's doing some retreats with exclusives, and I have a feeling those are also going to be charts that I'm going to lose my mind over, but I'm going to have to wait a year. So, Live on Little. I want Live on Little so bad. So, the other thing that I did, which this is going to be part of my theme for today, is I did work on Houses of Hakra and Hollow. And I started, okay, so let me fold this because this is big. I still have to fill this in with black, and I've kind of just been saving it for when that's, you know, those times when I'm really tired. I don't want to waste my time filling in with the black when I can do that in the car or, you know, other times. So I went down here and started the block below this dark one. And I didn't get much done, but I got part of the outline of the block and the outline of the cow. And that's it. So, whoop, this is what I have done so far. God, that's wrinkled. So yeah. I love this one. I love working on this one. So my theme is going to be Kathy Barrack and Carriage House. I'm going to show you some of the charts I have of theirs. So here's the Houses of Hakra, and this is the one. I have this one done, and I'm working on this one. So basically, it's these four I have left to do. So I've kind of come this way and down, and I'll start moving this way. So this block will not take long. So, yeah, I think this block right here is really cute. And, you know, at some point that will be done and it will be amazing. That I'm doing on DMC on Zweigart 36 count, I think antique white. Okay, and then on my Instagram story, the Jane Austen SAL that Annie B's and her daughters are doing started June 1st. Last time I told you I was going to do A Gentleman's Daughter, and I couldn't find, I had pulled the threads for the chart and I couldn't find it. Well, I found it by June 1st. And I was at my son's choir concert and I was like, I'm going to start it and put a few stitches in. I did the Instagram story saying, hey, I'm going to do it on Hemingway and here's my fabric and I'm going to get a few stitches in. And then my phone rang and I started getting emails and that never happened. So I am hoping either tonight or tomorrow night to pop in a Jane Austen movie and actually get this started. And I've seen a few people doing this one. So the SAL is, shoot, I can't remember the hashtags. Jane Austen SAL 22? I don't know. If you really want to know, maybe I'll post it in the drop-down box. And I'll drop a link to, whoop, I just dropped some thread. I'll drop a link to, Annie's Flosstube because you guys should watch it. It's really good. Here's my colors. I just dropped some on the floor, so that's not all of them, you know. So that one, I don't see myself finishing this year, but you never know. Sometimes something will just grab you. I was going to do it on Hemingway, and then once I got interrupted and didn't start it, I'm debating between Hemingway and Steinbeck. So next time, if I get some, I'm going to have to pick this up. You know what? Hang on one second because I'm going to pick up my drop thread before it gets dusty and I forget what it's for. Okay, so I did that. So what I'm going to do is I have a couple of sampler books to show you at the end and the giveaway stuff. I'm almost at an hour. So this little parade, I may not show you everything I have, but I thought I'd show you a little bit since I was working on Houses of Hawk Run. And I think I did that. I started working on that like the night before we left for North Carolina. So it's been a while since I even picked that up. But I thought I would show you some Carriage House and Kathy Barracks that I have. Kathy Barrack used to be Carriage House. Her sister Marty now owns Carriage House Samplings. They both have designed under the Carriage House banner. Now Kathy Barrack has her own separate design company. So they're both still in business, but the two sisters each run a different one. Their styles are very similar, very folk-arty. Folk-arty, there's that weird word again. If you go on the Carriage House Samplings website, which I will put that in the drop-down box too, it's a great website. Basically, there is every single chart that has ever been done. They're all still available under the Carriage House banner. And there's a lot on there that you don't see in shops anymore and that people just aren't stitching anymore that are just stunningly gorgeous. You can also look, because I can't tell, Kathy Barrack has done a large number of them. But you can go on there and actually look by each sister. There is a tab that will show designs by Marty and designs by Kathy, and you can pull up either one and see who designed what. I can't imagine you would like one sister more than the other as far as designs, because they are very similar flavor and styles. If you like one, you're going to like what the other one charts and designs. So, but you can look and see who designed what, which is very fun. It's a great website to play on, and you can order directly from them. And you can also order from your local shop. They can get any of these charts. Now, Kathy Barrack does, some of her charts, she does put them out of print. Kathy Barrack has an Etsy shop, and you can order things directly from Kathy. And she also has put a lot of her charts into PDF. So she has two options now, paper or PDF. And, you know, they're available everywhere. They're easily available. So that's what's nice. They have both been designing for a long time, and not hard to find a lot of this stuff. So I will show you some of what I have. You know, right now I'm working on Houses of Hawk Run. I've showed you a couple before. I'm not taking these out of the bag, so hopefully we don't have reflection. So this one is, and Kathy doesn't design under this anymore, so I'm pretty sure the first one I'll show you, I think, is out of print. She did do Barrack Samplers, and she has, I actually got this from 1884 Stitchery, McKenna. On a side note, if you have not been on her site lately, you should be checking there constantly, because she just purchased more than 15 boxes of someone's cross-stitch situation that has charts, amazing charts, and she's been listing those every day, and there have been some amazing charts that she has shown of all different tastes. Doesn't matter what your taste is, she's listing stuff that you would like. So go to 1884stitchery.com and click on all products. Her site is also best looked on a computer. You can do it on your phone, but it's much easier to sort of scan on that big computer screen and have a lot more loaded up. Just as a FYI. Okay, so this is Barrack Samplers Scrub Pine Sampler. She had a few of these houses which are very similar to Houses of Hawk Run. I don't know which came first. I would assume these might have, which may have led to doing a big piece with all the houses. Maybe. Oh, hold on just a minute. I think, one sec. Okay. God, I keep having interruptions. All right, so another one that I have, this is Carriage House. This is Agnes Rowlandson. And this is a Quaker sampler. Okay, so this has the chart for the original design and an adaptation. So this is the original sampler, and this is the adaptation if you didn't want to do the entire piece. I love this one. I don't know why I haven't started it or done it, but I think it's gorgeous. That's Carriage House. This is Hopeful by Carriage House Samplings. 2003. You know, something about Carriage House and Kathy Barrack, it very much reminds me of sort of like Charles Wysocki type, very rich colors. These charts, Kathy Barrack loves to chart in NPI, needlepoint ink silks. They also look phenomenal in DMC. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. NPI silks. Oh my God, hold on a minute. I don't know if you hear my dog barking, but I think someone's here. Hang on. You're gonna hear my dog barking. The window across from me was open. It's a beautiful day. I have got to get outside for a little bit because I really need it for my mental health. We get a lot of walkers up and down our street. And so she likes to bark at them. And the window's open, so you may hear that. Okay, this is another Carriage House. This is The Farmer's Wife. I think I was talking about NPIs. NPIs is a solid colored silk. I don't know if I said that, and I'm not rewinding this to do that. They look great in DMC. If you ever were to invest in the NPIs for like, if you want to start a silk collection, this might be a way to go. Like getting all of the silks for one of the Hawk Run pieces, because there's like a bajillion of them, and you would have, which would be expensive. I think I said once before you might need a second job to afford that. It would be expensive, but if you really want to get a collection going, that might be a way to start. And if you like Kathy Barrack and Carriage House, then you've already got like a nice base of silk threads, and you could kind of build off of it. And you'd pretty quickly, I think, have a big enough selection that you could do a lot of stuff in the NPI. So this one I love. This is Starry Night. Can you tell I love houses? Carriage House Samplings. It's checkerboard, so I love that. This one I've shown many times. This is probably one of the Carriage House Samplings that I will start in the very near future, and that's Sarah Spur. And this one I will do in silks. Actually, I did start it, but I don't think I have enough to show you for another time. Okay, this is Barrack Samplers. This is an American landscape. I am pretty sure, because I was on McKenna's website early this morning, I am pretty sure she has a copy of this one right now. So go look. I'm almost positive she has a copy of this listed. And I may have bought this one from her. I don't know. Isn't that cute? Some of these wouldn't take long at all. This is Be My Love by Carriage House. I love the couple and the sheep. Got your pet sheep next to you. This is Grace McGaw's sampler from Carriage House. I'm pretty sure this is a Kathy Barrack. She has two. I might have shown this one too. She has two linen choices that you could do on that one. This is, you guys have seen all these. This is the Farms of Hawk Run. I have all these not because I have wanted to stitch them, but they are so fun that I just collected them all. My next Hawk Run will definitely be Shores of Hawk Run. Shores and Christmas are pretty high on my list to do, but this is Village. And one of my favorites is actually the fall one, but I don't know. We'll see. Here's A Year at Hawk Run. So for the rest of my life, I'd like to have a Hawk Run hollow going on. This is Halloween. I love that one. Here's the Shores. This one I would not be surprised if I even start it before Houses is over with, especially if I'm in the mood for summer stitching. I love the center. I love this one with the Widow's Walk on the house. I love this. I love everything New England-y, and I love this one. Probably the only one on here I'm not real like, whatever on that one. But that one doesn't look like it'll take too long. So, speaking of Widow's Walks, what the hell is wrong with my dog? Okay. This is Widow's Walk. This is Carriage House. Isn't that cute? I think Pam from Just Keep Stitching, at some point, she may have started it or has intended to start that one, because I remember seeing her have it. Oh, here we go. Here is Spring at Hawk Run. Don't see many people doing this. Kind of cheery and fun. Here is Autumn at Hawk Run. This is one of my top 3 favorites of the Hawk Run. Love that. I could see starting that, being in the mood for fall and just getting that going. This I've shown before. This is on Needle and Flax Linen. This is Spring Pindrum by Kathy Barrack. And I don't think I've listed it in my shop yet, but I have all the pieces, and that's another thing on the to-do list that I mentioned I was going to do and haven't done. I have a finishing kit, and I do have all the threads now, and I have kits for that, and I have to get them on the website, and I haven't. This is Busy Hands by Kathy Barrack. I'm flipping through these as quick as I can because I have giveaways and stuff still. This is Autumn Pindrum. Love this. Love, 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 love this. That's high up there. 12 of the Clock by Kathy Barrack. I think that would be a fun stitch. 12 of the Clock. This is Nottingham by Kathy Barrack. This is a somewhat newer release. I think maybe last year she released this. And at first I would say it didn't totally appeal to me. If you go on her Instagram, I think she has a different version that she did of this too. And I don't remember if it was darker linen. I don't remember. Go on Kathy Barrack's Instagram because she had posted something about this that I was like, and I saw someone on social media stitch this, and it's one of those ones where when you saw it stitched, you're like, holy cow. Not that I didn't love it, but it really sold me on it. This is a really old one. This is inspired by Middletown, Virginia and Valley Needleworks in the Shenandoah Valley. This is Carriage House on Maine. Carriage House samplings. And this one, I mean, come on. This is very Charles Wysocki, who I love. I love Charles Wysocki stuff. This one, I think Carol Saltbox. I think she did this, A Mind Independent and Free. It's long, but it's a lot of words. I don't think, I think this in here might take a bit, and just kind of plugging through the words. I think this is not eyelet, but cross stitches kind of stacked. You can never tell with Carol because she stitches so fast that, when she gets something done fast, you don't know if it's actually because it's a fast chart or because it's just Speedy Carol. I don't know. Okay, this is Carriage House. This is Sweet Humility. Another one with just lots of words, which I would read to you, but I'm not. This is Kathy Barrack. This was a couple years ago, Marianne March. Just a simple little sampler. This is an original design, not a reproduction, but I think it would look very pretty with reproductions on a sampler wall. This is Bird's Eye View by Kathy Barrack. This was a gift to me, which I love. Isn't that pretty? Bird and houses. Speaking of birds, this morning when I was getting organized, Susan Standley, A Stitch in Time, just posted a new Flosstube, and she was talking about birds and things in samplers, and then did some of her favorite samplers that featured birds, and she also did some really good reference type books, so go watch her. She's a great YouTube. She's very like educational based. She's definitely a teacher. I know she's taught quilting things, quilting classes and things, and she's very into researching and learning history, and she's always learning and then passing on the information, and I just saw that bird and thought of it, so go watch her newest video. This is Quaker Quilts by Carriage House. I love the colors in this. That'd be very fun to stitch. Let's see. I'm going to go through. Embroiderous Stocking by Kathy Barrack. I love the stockings and would love to do those. They're so funky. It would be fun to have a display of these. I think this is the first one I would do, A Virtuous Woman. So this is Carriage House. The other one's Kathy Barrack. So some are under her label and some were designed under Carriage House label. So I love that girl in the dress. Look at that toe of that stocking. Would take forever to stitch. And there's yellow. It's sunshine. What is that? Sunshine. There's a lot of yellow in there. The toe is like a stream with fish. Now that would take a while. I think this wouldn't be terribly hard, but then when you got here, you'd be doing a lot of, but it's pretty. I think that's one of my favorites. Pennsylvania German stocking. This one is Carriage House. I don't have all of the stocking charts. That's another thing I need to kind of collect. This is Ocean Blue stocking. This was one of her latest stocking releases at market, probably, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. Ocean Blue. This would be fun. This is Quaker stocking. And this one is Carriage House. So if you go on the website, you can look at the stockings on Carriage House, and then anything that's not under the Carriage House label. There's some under the Kathy Barrack label. This one I love, Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. I know Olivia, Pumpkin Hollow, is it Pumpkin Hollow Quilts? She and Christy from Crosshatch Quilts were stitching this at one point, and I'm not sure if either of them have finished it yet. Everybody that's stitched, it's just heavy stitching, so it takes a while, but many times in the fall I debate starting that one. I've shown this one before, Quaker Dwelling. That is Kathy Barrack. Beautiful. Again, if it's got a house, I want to do it. Let's see. This is kind of a newer one. This is Carriage House. This is Blooming Baskets. This one might be Marty Barrack. Yep, this one's Marty Barrack. Isn't that pretty? I think this is another one where if it was stitched in just like a super cool, I mean, this would be really pretty on a wall. Like it would kind of be, I don't know, it would be eye-catching. And not terribly big, but just beautiful. This is Selena Schultz, 1828. It doesn't say. I think this is a reproduction. Same thing on the two different linens. Kathy does a lot where she does similar stuff to a reproduction, but they're not. So sometimes it's hard to tell, but she has done some reproductions. This is a oh, there we go. Here's a AH to EE, a reproduction of an 1806 Quaker. I think this one would be good if like Anne Grimshaw appeals to you, but you don't want something that big. This kind of has that same flavor to it. Well, all Quakers are the same flavor, but you know, kind of like a little version of that high contrast thing. This is an original. I've shown this before. Sarah's Work, 1797 and 1806. I think I've said before, I think these would just be really cute, you know, decorative pieces with fall displays and stuff like that. And then the last one, this was a gift. Thomas by Kathy Barrack. I think she has said, and I could be wrong, but I feel like the birds she's done with the names of her brothers, maybe. I think they're named after her brothers or men in her life. I know at least one she said was her brother, but I think they are brothers. Isn't that pretty? So that's what I had to show you this time. I think I have more. I know I have more. I just don't have them all put together. So let's see, 115. I will show you one. I actually brought out 2 sampler books. I'm just going to show you one just because of time. I've got to get going. And I'm going to have to, what I'll do is I'm going to turn this on while I'm driving with my errands and listen for any major flubs. And then it'll take a bit to upload. So hopefully today on Friday, late at tonight. Who knows? Sometimes when I'm out driving, running my errands, I upload off my phone just using like 4G or whatever. We only have 4G here. We don't have 5G yet. Sometimes when I'm out like in town, the internet's better and it uploads way quicker than when I upload it at home. So I will save one of these books for later because I have a ton of them and I told you I'd share them. But one of the ones I wanted to show you, so last time I showed you sampler books, I showed Betty Ring, and I don't remember the other one I showed you. I can't remember. Crud, what? Ah, whatever. I don't like rewatching my videos once they're done, so I could repeat myself quite a bit and not know it. I know I didn't show this one. So what I was trying to show is those were a couple of my favorites. One I can't remember. And I'm trying to show you ones that are not terribly expensive because I do have a big collection and a lot of them are out of print and some of them are very expensive. So I'm kind of trying to first show ones that you might want to start with, ones that are easy to find and won't totally break the bank if you want to either start a collection of sampler books or maybe you just want a couple for reference to go through. This one is a very small book, very thin. There's not a lot to it. It's Samplers A to Z by Pamela Parmal. And these are samplers from the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. So this would be American samplers. It's not, you can find this on eBay, AbeBooks, thrift books, half-price books. You can find this one rather easily. And I haven't checked the price lately, but I know I've seen them for less than $20. So this is not terribly hard to find and not terribly expensive. So basically the way this book is set up is it goes through maybe like jargon or things that you hear about needlework by the alphabet, right? So I'm going to show you A. So A is alphabet. And so every letter of the alphabet's in here, and then they have sort of a corresponding little article, right? So it's kind of fun because like they might have, let me see what else. V is for verse. U, umlaut. God, I don't even know what that is. R is for rococo stitch. O is for origin. M is for map sampler. And there's L is for landscape. So it's just, they use the alphabet to sort of write a little bit about something to do with that, right? So I tabbed a couple things. So A is for alphabet. It goes into why the alphabets would have been in samplers. And it's just a very small, everything is in color, right? So it's a pretty book to look at. It's got the eye candy and it's not heavy on the reading. So it's kind of a nice one. But this one, A is for alphabet. I tabbed this. This one, they have a picture of Rebecca French. And these are all samplers in the Boston Museum. This one is a reproduction that you can get from a sampler in Canada. So if you ever want to stitch this one, that is available to stitch, as well as it's in the book. That is in a sampler reproduction. Let's see, E is for embroidery. I tabbed this one because they have a New Jersey. I think I told you before, I think New Jersey is one of my favorite types of American samplers. And look at that. This is a New Jersey sampler. Isn't that pretty? Gorgeous. So that was E for embroidery. This is another one I tabbed. This is the Rococo stitch. This one has Betsy Davis. This is a Rhode Island sampler. And this one, Scarlet Letter, has reproduced. So you can also stitch this one. And that's the antique. And then the other one I wanted to show you this in here. And you'll find this in a lot of sampler books. There are samplers that you will recognize that people have reproduced. Because many of these books have samplers in it from museums, even more than private collections. So this X is for cross stitch, and this is Jane Atkinson. And if you've watched quite a few people on social media, Carol Saltbox, have been stitching on Jane Atkinson from Scarlet Letter. So look here, this is the Scarlet Letter did an adaptation. So I don't know the story behind this. I don't know if she did not get access to the actual sampler and that's why it is not an exact reproduction. I don't know if she did have access to it or photos of it and maybe changed some stitches. Anything that is not exactly like the antique is going to be an adaptation. So I am not sure exactly why hers is an adaptation. Okay, but it is in the Boston Museum. And so here is the antique of Jane Atkinson. Okay, so you see the border is very similar, the tree, okay, see, I see now a couple of things. So pretty much the border is very similar. Here you've got some animals and flowers. On the reproduction, she put a deer there. Well, no. That flower's the same. See, I'm looking in the camera and it's reversed. What a ding-dong. It looks the same to me. I'd have to really study this. I don't know why she's calling hers an adaptation. It could be a change in stitches or just a few things she had trouble charting. But it's pretty darn close. It's pretty darn close. So that is the antique of Jane Atkinson. And most of those, I think I said before, most of those museums, if you make an appointment and you want to see something in their collection, a lot of them will let you ahead of time schedule an appointment and they will pull it out of their archives if it's not on display and set you up so that you can see it. So that might be one to go see, call them up and see if they have Jane Atkinson out, or if not, if you can schedule to see it. That'd be great. Be a fun add-on to a stitching trip. So, well, let's see. 122. Yeah, we're done. I'll show the other book next time. The other one's a good reading book. Not quite as much eye candy, but phenomenal reading about samplers. And I have so many to show you. I will show you next time. Okay, so last time I did a Fat Quarter Shop giveaway, and I drew a winner. And that was for this Lori Holt cross-stitch pattern, Cut, Press, Sew. By It's Sew Emma, and the Mad for Plaid project pad. What color is this one? Bluebell. So pretty bluebell. So it was for these two, and I did the random comment and Nicole C one. So Nicole, shoot me a message on Instagram, or you can send me an email at needleandflax@gmail.com. I'll put that below. So let me know where you want me to send this, and I'll mail it out to you. Probably Monday if you get a hold of me over the weekend. So my next giveaway is also from Fat Quarter Shop, and this is for the quilters out there. They had sent me some things that I could give away, and I have a little information. They send information on what it is. So one is a quilt pattern, and then also quilt block foundation paper. So I'm just going to read you what it says about this. So it is, what is this? The Snail Trail Quilt Block Foundation Paper Pad. So I have the 6-inch, and then there's a 12-inch foundation paper pad. Okay, so these two. Let's see, I'm going to read what they say about it. We're glad to introduce the newest foundation paper pads that make light work of a vintage quilt block. The Snail Trail Quilt Block foundation paper comes in 2 block sizes and is very easy to use. Make perfect snail trail quilt blocks every time. Shaded and numbered templates make this simple paper piecing fuss-free. Each pad makes 42 quilt blocks. So you're going to get both sizes. And this is what they look like. Both pads of this. And then this is, I think this is beautiful. This is the Amaryllis quilt pattern by Lori Holt. It's So Emma. And this will make sizes for table runner, lap, throw, and a twin. I think this is beautiful. I debated keeping this. But who am I kidding? I'm not getting to quilting anytime soon. I just can't. So it should go to one of you that likes to quilt. There's so many people that are quilters and cross stitchers, and there's such a crossover that I think that is a very fun giveaway. And if you want to win this, use the word quilt somewhere in your comment. Quilt, quilt, quilt. And let me know you're a quilter, or maybe you know somebody that would appreciate it, or you want to, I mean, how great would that, if you get started on this now, you could do some really cute table runners for like Christmas gifts, right? I mean, let's think ahead here. Let's get organized, people. Get your crafting going for Christmas. I know summer hasn't even really gotten in full swing. So that's it. It is, this is another long one. Some people don't like when I ramble. I've had a few comments where it's like, it's too much at the beginning. Oh, well. Yeah, so I'm going to keep on working. So here's the deal. I'm going to come back and do another video next week because, you know what? These glasses, I tell you. Maybe my face is crooked because every time I'm on here, I'm like this. What? I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the camera. I don't know. That drives me nuts. Okay, so I'm going to come back next week because if I have my brother-in-law coming in here, the house turns into craziness, and there's usually somebody sleeping in my living room. A lot of times it's my husband. But there's usually somebody in my living room. They stay up late at night, you know, having drinks, watching West Coast ball games and things like that. So it's kind of a mess. There's no way I'm going to be able to do a video while he's here. So what I'm going to do is, he comes next Saturday. So next week I will do one and upload it. And if I can, I'm not going to totally promise, but I'm going to try and also pre-record another one so that I can kind of keep on schedule. And I think the one that I will record, so it wouldn't really have any updates or anything because it wouldn't really be current. I think I'm going to record a American Sampler hoopla hoorah thing. If I can. So next week I'll do another designer parade. I already know. I know what that one is. And if I can pre-record one, then I will still upload one within that 2 or 3 week period that he's here. And that'll kind of keep me on track. Otherwise, I'll update you on Instagram, hopefully. Otherwise, there could be a little lapse in time before I upload another one. It could be 3 weeks to a month, but I'm going to try not to. Like when Brenda and Laura announced that they were not going to have a video for a month on their last video. On the surface, I'm very happy that they're going to have fun and do wonderful things, and they're going to share all of their adventures with us, which is phenomenal. But deep down, I'm a little upset that we're going to have to go without them for a month. I totally understand. This is not their job. They have a life. But I'm like, man, there's going to be a big void for the next month without a Brenda and Laura video. They'll come back with tons of content because they're going to do some good stuff. They're doing some retreats, and I mean, I can't wait to, the country sampler retreat has not happened yet, and I've already had a sneak of what some of those exclusives are. Paulette Stewart, one of my favorite designers, Brenda Gervais, Chessie and me, they're all going to be there. I think everybody that goes to that and does a Flosstube, we're in for some pretty phenomenal update videos. And the Attic is having their Bristol weekend. So I think the Flosstubers that go to that stuff, there's going to be some good videos in the next few weeks to month. So anyway, I'm going to try to not have a big block of time like that and pre-record a video. Again, I just rambled to tell you something I could have said in 2 seconds. Whatever. So I'm going to go run my errands and try and get back so I can do some dyeing. I think even though I have coffee here, I have to go through Starbucks. I need a Starbucks today. It's just that kind of day. So I will see you again in 1 week. and hopefully be organized enough to actually do 2 videos so that you won't have to miss me at all. So anyway, I will talk to you later and see you next time. Bye.